I'm trying to think of a pun of like a car name with moo in it.
Super Moo.
Ah, well done. Well done. I was going to go Samoozy or some like what is it? Suzuki.
Mizuki.
Or Highlandai, like Hyundai, like a Highland cow.
Like a Highland cow. Yep. Mm.
Oh, yeah. All right. You two are much better at this than I am.
We are professionals.
Been locked in the house for a while now.
Hello and welcome to Good for a Change. This is the podcast where we aim to combat the awful everyday news you hear with stories that will make you... What? Smile, that's right. Let everyone be a little interactive on that one.
It's like Dora the Explorer.
A little bit. Now, my name is Jarrod and with me is Hollie.
Hello, Hollie.
And also with me is Sean.
Hello.
How are we going?
Good.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for asking.
It's alright, mate.
I feel like we don't ever really ask how each other are. It's just like, are you excited? Great, let's go. Let's take a moment to just really sit back and be like, how are you?
Well, the sun's shining, which is nice.
Okay, don't care, Sean. Look, people aren't interested in our days. Let's just crack on with the story, shall we? I'm going to go first.
Whoa.
Sean, Hollie, allow me to tell you the story of Magawa, the African giant pouched rat.
Oh, that does not sound like good news.
I can see this is going to go well because this is one of Holly's favourite subjects of all, rats.
Oh, you're gonna be in love with this rat by the end of it. I swear by the end of this, Hollie, you'll say this should be a Disney cartoon. The non-profit organisation Apopo, A-P-O-P-O, has trained Magawa to detect landmines in Cambodia, and to date he has discovered 39 landmines and 28 other dormant explosives, clearing over 141,000 square metres of land, making it safe for locals.
Wow.
Are you a little more inclined to enjoy this right now, Hollie?
I would prefer to imagine that the rat is a rabbit, but yes.
I mean, I will show you a photo of him soon. He doesn't look like a real rat. He's cute.
Okay.
Now, veterinary charity The People's Dispensary for Sick Animals has awarded Magawa a gold medal for his work. The first rat in their history to be awarded a gold medal.
Wow.
It's a nice little small miniature gold medal. I'll show it to you shortly. You'll obviously be able to see it on our socials. I'm sure Sean will plug that a little later on. But he joins the ranks of dogs, horses, pigeons, and even a cat who have all been honoured over the last 77 years.
And
you know
even
what's
a cat.
good is that
Yeah, even a cat.
he's got a pouch so he can put his medal in there.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, he's got a little pocket. He's never had anything for the pocket before.
I really like that even a cat statement there, as if like normally cats are a bit of annoying animals, so we weren't really expecting a cat to win that, but we did actually give a cat one.
Oh,
Yeah.
what are we
And this cat's like, oh, all right, I guess I'll help them find landmines and help thousands of locals. Magawa has been trained in Tanzania to detect the chemical compound in explosives and then alert the local deminers. So that's how that works. He searches the areas and ignores any scrap metal that might be in the ground, which means that he's faster than a classic metal detector. He takes around half an hour to search an area the size of a tennis court.
Wow.
For a human to do that with a metal detector, it would take them around 4 days to really do it properly.
Someone
gosh.
call the Aussie Gold Hunters.
Yeah.
Oh, there's an idea.
I was thinking how you wouldn't want to play Mousetrap against this guy, because I feel like he'd be very good at Mousetrap.
Yeah, nah. He look, Magawa is a local hero.
Yeah.
He's not just a local hero; he's a world hero. I've decided. I'm calling him the hero of the podcast.
Wow.
Like we had the guy with the crocodile a couple of weeks ago. I'm all for Magawa.
Your hero
100%.
changes on a regular basis.
It was the Nugget Man 2 weeks ago.
There was the
It was the Nugget Man. So look here. I'm going to show you now the picture of Magawa.
Aw, look at his little medal.
No, I just hate rats so much.
What do you hate about him?
The eyes, the hands, the ears, and the mouth. Mostly, those are most... And then, like, the body, the whole... I hate... Oh,
Just
I'm not...
all of it.
Yeah.
What about the... but you like his little medal?
Yeah, you can put that in his little pouch.
What would it take for you to love a rat, Hollie?
I don't like Ratatouille. That's how much I don't like rats.
You don't like Ratatouille?
No. Do you know why? Do you want to hear a story that I've told a million times, but maybe not on this podcast. I used to be an usher at 1984, and there is that part in 1984 where they're torturing him with rats, and it was very
Confronting.
visually
Visceral.
visceral. It was very visceral. It was a lot, but I watched that for a year of them being like, if a rat is hungry, it can eat off your face in a minute, blah, 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 blah. And it was like 5 minutes of that every night, and now I just hate rats.
All right, well, look, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
It's like
pretty
I
fickle.
was, yeah.
It is a shame when we go to Disneyland Paris and they have the wonderful Ratatouille ride, and Hollie does feel a bit...
Crying on it.
Yeah.
Bawling the whole way around.
Let me tell you about that Ratatouille ride, right? Sean and I, when we went to Disneyland Paris, we got on that ride, and Sean and I went through the single rider line.
Mm-hmm.
So we went on together, and I got put on with a family who were from France. And the guy who was loading us on, the cast member, could tell I wasn't French, because he was saying stuff, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't understand. And then, so he turns to the family who I'm on this ride with, and he says something in French, and they all turn and laugh at me, and like one of the kids points at me, and I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. I guess
Oh, no.
I guess I'll just sit here awkwardly and feel bad about myself for the whole ride.
Great.
No idea what they said. They're probably
Brilliant.
like, do you know what? In all honesty, you probably just turned around and went, hey, let's all pretend I've said something funny and laugh and point at the Australian. And that's fair enough. It was pretty funny.
That's what I would do as well.
Well, do you know where that small medal would fit very appropriately, other than around the neck of that rat?
In his pouch. We've had this conversation.
He's
But-
got a pouch, Sean. He's fine.
Yes, but it would also fit very well into my story this week. My story takes place in Great Yarmouth in the UK, where there is a miniature village called the Merivale Miniature Village. It's been around for about 60 years, and this year they are doing something big, which is ironic.
Because it's a miniature village.
Exactly. And they're actually hosting, this is something that happens around the UK every year, and Australia does something similar, and I'm sure other countries do similar things as well. But the Macmillan Cancer Support Charity every year holds the world's biggest coffee morning, where you get together with your friends or your work colleagues and you have a coffee morning and you raise some money and you sell some cakes and that kind of thing. Well, this miniature village has just recently done their own biggest coffee morning, but in miniature scale, and throughout the whole village they made little coffee mornings with the Macmillan tablecloth, and they had all these little miniature figures celebrating the coffee morning to try and spread word about the charity and to try and drum up some cash for them this year, because it's a real cash strapped year for charities this year.
Okay, so they made it miniature, but made it big? Like, have they set a record or something?
Well, I don't know if they've set a record particularly, but it might be the world's biggest coffee morning. Potentially. I don't know if anyone's done a smaller one.
I think that cancels it out, which makes it the world's
Coffee morning.
coffee morning.
That I believe that's what the record's going to be.
The miniature world's most regular sized coffee morning.
That's what the leaflets say.
So, see, where I thought you were going to go with it was I thought you were going to say they've just put, like, giant cups of tea, or, like, normal cups of tea in this miniature village, and that's how they were going to do it. And, like, people were going to be looking up, like, shocked.
Made it rain tea. Like, pour jugs and jugs and
Ooh,
jugs.
like, flood the town
Yeah,
with some
nice.
Lipton.
What I like is they've got them in all different scenarios, and I've got some pictures of you, and I'll share them between us so you can see them, and I'll obviously put them on our social media. You can see all the visual elements of our podcast at Good for a Change Podcast on Instagram. It's where we put all the visual elements, because we always talk about visual things that you need to see as well. So check them out on there.
Good for a Change is the most visual podcast on the planet.
This one is like outside of a castle, a replica of a castle in a little Tudor village, and there's some people just having their little coffee
Oh, is
morning.
the castle a replica?
Yeah. It's
Oh
all
my
in miniature.
God.
It's a miniature village.
Oh, so they've put it in the miniature.
Yes, they've put them in the miniature
Oh,
village.
I thought you meant they put them in the town, and I couldn't
No.
visualize.
Yeah, no, I knew what they were doing.
Yeah, so it's all miniature people
I get
in the
it.
town having miniature cups of tea and coffee and cakes.
I
Oh,
think
that's
that
very
thing
sweet.
wrapped around your head at the moment, Holly, is just a little too tight.
Ollie's wearing a headband today.
Let some oxygen in, champ.
Here's some bridge builders having probably a builder's tea.
Oh, very nice.
Sitting there. Very nice. And what I love about them is some miniature villages have, some little people that, they just look like people. But these ones are quite cartoony.
Yeah.
They've got quite a little cartoony look to them. and I think they're really quite adorable. I also love that they've made little signage as well. So not only do they have like the tablecloth, but they've got, just as people do in real life with these morning teas, they've made like little signs that say like biggest morning tea this way, and little yard signs and
I
things.
wonder like what the scale is, because that's quite neat handwriting.
I feel like the people are. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I
Like
actually
the
have a
size
picture
of an
them.
index finger.
Yeah, I think they're about the size of an index finger.
Yeah.
The people.
Even so, getting writing, like, that was quite concise.
Yeah, that's
for the
pretty
size
impressive.
Of an index finger.
Yeah.
I do love a little model village. Something a bit fun. Always reminds me of that scene in Hot Fuzz where they're chasing the bad guy around the model village town and having a bit of fight in it. I think that's hilarious.
See, my first thought was Zootopia.
Oh yes,
That little town.
Oh, that is a
Oh,
great
yeah.
scene.
Oh, my. What a movie.
What a great movie.
That's underrated.
It is. With the food and tea, like for this morning tea, did they use did they make actual sandwiches and cut them out into tiny little things?
Oh, my gosh. Imagine.
Yeah. Oh no. I think they have made little sculptural ones, because I think they've probably had that out for quite a while. I think they had their actual morning tea on the 25th of September, but I think this was like a promotional thing in a way to boost publicity for the event happening nationwide across the UK. So they used it as an opportunity for that. So they little miniature cakes and biscuits and sandwiches and things for them to eat and drink. But they did, I think, also their cafe was selling cake, and that was going to go towards it as well.
As someone who used to work in catering, cutting sandwiches into 4 is a nightmare. Imagine having to cut them into like 38. That would be hell.
Yeah, but paid enough, they do it.
Yeah, I'd do it.
I really like.
Absolutely.
There's something at the moment. Someone made the world's smallest, I guess, stop motion film, and they used atoms.
What?
Yeah, and it's just a small boy in a ball, and he like kicks a ball around, just a little stick figure. But it's literally made with
Oh
atoms.
my goodness.
How did they do that?
Well, they got an atom and they cut it into 38.
That's hard. I wonder what knife they
Yeah,
used.
but like it's quite like all these lines are really straight.
Wow.
So someone spent a lot of time doing this.
Wow.
I can't even fathom how you would do that. Do you have to like make a vacuum to start with,
No idea.
so that there are no other atoms in there?
I don't know. I'll ask at the next meeting.
Yeah, if you could, I'd love that.
Yeah, I mean, I have an animation degree, but we didn't quite go down to atom size.
I was actually torn between 2 stories today, and both of them were miniature thing related, because the other thing I read about was that a Japanese company has recently made the world's smallest Rubik's Cube.
Oh, interesting.
And it's like a tiny metal Rubik's Cube, but it works. It's
Yeah.
not just like a replica. It's like it actually works. I mean, it comes with a little stand and everything as well. But it costs, this is the ridiculous part, because usually, when something gets smaller, it doesn't necessarily cost more. It was something like $1,900 for this miniature Rubik's
Is that
Cube.
because, though, of the man hours that are going into making it?
Possibly,
probably.
or maybe it's like they only did a limited run of them or something like that.
I feel like the
Yeah.
precision that you would have to
Yeah,
have
'cause it
to
does-
make that
Yeah.
It is authentic. Like, I believe it is like
workable.
basically made the same as a bigger one, but in miniature scale.
Yeah.
Did you watch that Netflix show about those boys who did Rubik's Cubes?
I haven't watched the thing, but they watched it on Gogglebox,
Right, okay.
and I did see it on there.
It's great.
It was a really good documentary.
I loved that.
If you need to feel good, go and and we're not doing it for you. Go and watch that documentary on Netflix. It's a really good time, and
Called
it's
Cubed.
Cubers or something like that. Cube.
Who's
Yeah, I
to
don't
say?
know.
You'll find it.
Just type in Rubik's Cube, and I'm sure you'll find
Yeah.
it.
Well, I mean, if I can say, I actually had a story sent to me. Just if we're talking about second stories,
Ooh.
I'm only going to mention it quickly. It was sent to me from, I think her name was Emma. I'm lying. She's been my best friend since I was 4. It was a story about a young boy who they were making up packs. He's in America. They were making up packs to send to the firefighters in California at the moment. And one thing that he sent them was a baby Yoda.
Oh.
And so now the different brigades have been sending this baby Yoda around
Oh, that's
and taking photos and sending them to this kid.
Oh, a bit like Derek Trotter from one of our previous episodes.
Exactly right.
There we go.
So yeah, there we go. That was a fun little story.
Oh, thanks
I've
for sending that
seen-
in.
floating around on the internet. Someone gave like their great grandmother or something a baby Yoda toy, and she's become very attached to it.
As you would. Baby Yoda's a cutie.
Baby Yoda is a cutie.
I think she called it something like Piglet or
Oh.
something. It was like, oh,
Look at the little green piglet.
right. That was half a story. I've got a full story if you'd like to hear one.
I would
Yes,
love to hear a
please.
full story.
Well,
Is it about Baby Yoda?
It's not about Baby Yoda, it's about a baby cow.
Oh,
I'll take it.
Will you have it?
I'll take it, yeah.
Great. This is a story about Ruby Sue, who is a 2-week-old cow who walked for the first time after a custom wheelchair was donated to her.
oh, what a champ.
What an absolute champ.
Can I, sorry, just very quickly, I need to make the Ruby Moo joke. Now we can move on. Move on.
So when she was born, her back legs were fused together.
Oh, no.
And she couldn't walk, and she was picked up by this charity that saves animals in peril. And the doctor looked at her and was like, look, I think she's happy and she's healthy and she's pain-free. So we just need to, like, find a way of getting her up and moving. So a company called Walking Pets, who make pet wheelchairs for an array of animals, including ducks, dogs, chickens, and a tortoise.
Good.
Even a cat.
Even a cat. Donated the wheelchair to the cow.
Oh, that's amazing.
And now she can, like, get muscle in her front legs to then be able to, like, because she's never walked before.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a work in progress to kind of get her to the point where she...
Was there footage of her utilising the wheelchair,
I've
Hollie?
got some very cute pics.
Yes. I'm sorry once again to our listeners who are again going, why are they talking about visual things? But one can only assume that this cow in a wheelchair is going to be adorable.
It looks like Walking Pets do mostly make wheelchairs for dogs.
Yeah.
And usually you can buy one for your dog. So I think it's like $150 to like $450, something like that for the wheelchairs.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cheap.
Yeah, for that
You're
kind
probably going to cry. Are you
Oh,
ready?
No. Here we go.
I'm ready.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, that's very cute.
Oh.
Look
Oh,
what
I love Ruby Moo.
absolute-
That is, honestly, a much bigger wheelchair than I was expecting. Quite often when you see the...
Well, because I think I was expecting, like, you see dog wheelchairs and it's like they're sitting in it.
Yeah, it's like... And it's the back half.
And their front legs moving. This one, I think, well, obviously because she's young as well and she has no real muscle in her front legs.
Yeah.
They're picking her up completely. She'll probably graduate to one that's just behind her.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
It's sort of, for those that haven't clicked onto our Instagram to see what it looks like yet, it sort of looks like a frame around the top of the cow and then 4 large wheels around it. Sort of like bike wheels almost, small bike wheels.
It's like what you put a baby in, a baby bouncer.
Oh yeah, sort of looks like a baby
That's
bouncer.
what it kind of looks like, but with
An
wheels.
all-wheel drive baby bouncer.
Off-roading.
Off-roading.
Right, yeah.
Very cute. Oh dear, it's very cute. It makes my heart happy to see, and the cow looks so happy to just be trotting around.
Yeah, I was hoping, I had in my head that it was a brown cow, and it was a brown cow.
Something about brown cow, isn't there?
They're adorable. I think like a Highland cow is adorable, especially in like child format. The calf format of a Highland cow is so adorable with their little like emo fringes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, too cute.
Yeah. And of course, if we didn't have brown cows, we wouldn't have chocolate milk.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure that's how it
And
works.
that's a fact.
Yeah, dealing out nothing but facts on this podcast.
Yeah. Don't ever use this podcast as
A reference.
as a source,
No.
as a reference in an essay
Ooh,
or in
bad
an
idea.
article. Bad idea. I mean, all you're going to learn about is cows and wheelchairs.
Well, Jarrod had that story sent in by Emma, which was really nice. And if you've got any good news that you would like to share with us, we would love to hear it. So please send it in to us either via our email, which is goodforachange@gmail.com, or via our Facebook group, where an ever-growing number of people share news from around the world. You can find that by typing Good for a Change into Facebook, and we are the group with the banana in the logo. Easy to find us.
That was a very good little spiel you gave there, Sean.
Oh, thank you.
We loved that.
It's what brings the people back every week.
Exactly right. It was good in my life, but it's not going to be what's good in your life. But we'll get to that, because firstly, Sean, what's good in your life?
Well, I spent the other night on The Sims, and I do love The Sims, but like I haven't played it for a while. And then I was playing The Sims the other night, and I thought, you know what? Gonna make my Sims little Disneyland, because what's gonna make their lives even better? Having a little Disneyland to go and visit. Because I really want to visit Disneyland, and I'm having a hard time not visiting Disneyland at the moment. So I thought I'm gonna recreate a Disneyland on The Sims, and I've taken up a block, and I've been building Disneyland. I've been basing it off certain elements of actual Disney parks and incorporating it all to fit in the box. And I've got a little hotel to start with, and I've got a little main street, and I've got a little frontier land, and I'm starting to build the castle in Fantasyland at the moment. So very exciting. building.
It is very impressive. You have shown me a few photos. It does look very good.
Yeah, it is good.
Of course, you
Thank
asked what would make Sims' lives better. I would have thought sentience, but who knows?
I would say ladders in pools.
Yeah, and not being put in a basement and then the stairs taken away like I used to do to my Sims.
I mean, one thing that's come in very handy for this build that I've been working on is that there is actually ladders in the game now.
Oh, yeah, they've put ladders in.
Which is very handy.
Have they?
Because
Yeah.
the stairs have always been too big for my liking. It takes
And you
up too
can't
much
like
room.
really build under the stairs,
Yeah,
which is annoying.
yeah.
So I don't know when exactly they came in, but there's ladders now, and I really appreciate that. So thank you, EA Games, for putting ladders in The Sims.
You're welcome, Sean.
Oh, thank you, EA Games.
Holly,
Yes.
my little sunshine.
Yes.
That's a nice little smile. Holly, what's good in your life?
I'll tell you what's good in my life, Jarrod. What is good in my life is that in this lockdown period of my life, we have been trying to keep fit and healthy. And so me and Sean's sister Tamlin have been doing yoga with Adrian. Now, if you are a avid online yoga fan, you'll know who Adrian is.
Adrian's just some weird guy who comes around.
It's a lovely lady. She's wonderful.
Adrian's just some weird lady who comes around.
She does these 30-day segments.
Challenges.
It's not necessarily it's not like I'm challenging you to do this for 30 days. It's like very gentle and very warming and very pleasant.
Oh, like a 30-day program.
Yeah, it's more like that. And some of them are really hard, and some of them are like, we did one the other day called like sleep or something. She was like, get a blanket and like put it over your shoulders and then do a little stretch to the back. I was like, oh, thank you, Adrian. That's lovely.
I've been doing that every night of my life
Yeah.
for 31 years.
Well, you're absolutely smashing it on 30 days.
Thank you.
So on day like 8 or something, she's very good because it's leveled. So it's like, you can do this if you're really good at yoga, and you can do this if like you're new to yoga, or like this isn't going to work for you, whatever. And on like day 8, she was like, oh, you can like sit seated like this, or you can stand on your toes, or you can do the crow pose. And we're like, what's the crow pose? Oh, it's hard. So since day 8, Tamlin and I have been practicing crow pose.
Would you like to explain what Cropo is?
Cropo-
Cropose is... Cropo.
So you basically...
Popo. A popo.
You zip your feet together, so you're crouched on the floor, you zip your feet together, and then you send your knees out, and you put your hands between your knees on the floor, and then you rest your knees onto your elbows, and then put the whole weight of your body onto your hands. So you're holding up your body.
Right. So,
I can see why you watch Adrian do this and not have Adrian describe this to you.
it sounds...
because-
But and the thing is,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about because... is this the video you accidentally sent me?
Yeah, I did accidentally send it, because I was talking to my mum about it,
Yeah.
and she was like, you should video it and show me, and I did.
It's great because it cuts off just after you've done it, and you've got this look on your face of just like, oh my god!
Every time we do it.
But yeah, you accidentally sent that to me, and it was very funny. And it was very impressive. But yeah, you're like, oops, that wasn't for you.
I'm much better than that now.
Oh yeah.
I can do it on the floor. I don't need the block anymore.
Well, you're going to have to accidentally send me another photo.
Yeah, I will.
Great, looking forward to it.
But I love it. I think she's great. If you ever need a bit of Adrian in your life,
Excellent.
it's worthwhile. She's got a dog called Benji, and sometimes Benji's around. It's nice to just like listen to her voice. She's very relaxing. I love her.
Yeah, I'll admit I've done some with Holly before, just like some breathing morning stretchy ones. And it was enjoyable.
Lovely.
So,
It's very enjoyable.
yeah.
Thanks, Adrian.
You're welcome, Holly.
Oh my gosh.
Adrian's here.
Hi, Adrian.
She sounds just like the EA Games people.
She is the
Amazing.
same. One in the same. Jarrod,
Yes, Holly.
what's good in your life?
I've got two things.
Oh my gosh,
Calm
this really is the
down.
Jarrod episode. Goodness
I know.
me.
Oh my god. I mean, very, very quickly. The first is something we can all enjoy, including new listeners, which is my fancy new microphone.
Yay.
Ooh.
Ooh, pretty. I've been recording off a microphone. Some of you may have noticed a few episodes ago that the sound quality for me wasn't great. Turns out I was talking into the wrong end of my microphone. Not like the bottom of it, but I had turned it around and I was talking into the back of it. It used to be omnidirectional. The driver had changed. It wasn't anymore. But I bought a new microphone because I'm going to be doing another podcast as well. We'll get to that when it comes out. I'll shamelessly plug myself. But this one, it's hands-free. Like it's connected to my table. It's got a pop filter in front of it, so I can pop my P's and it's not going to sound horrible when Sean has to edit it. It's very impressive. Anyway, that's not the main thing that's good in my life, although it is very good in my life.
Good in my life now too.
The other thing is that, yes, absolutely, is that we've been doing Zoom hangouts on a Saturday night, me and sort of a group of friends. And something we've started doing is like, not challenges, but like something, like a task you have to do for the week. And then on a Saturday, you then have to go through your task, whatever it is. So the first week was we all had to pick a song that we hadn't heard before. So it couldn't be your favorite song. It had to be, you had to find a song on Spotify that you'd never heard of, and then we sent it to another person. She made a track list, and then we all listened to it, and then had to figure out who picked which song.
Oh, that's fun.
And it was great. I came across a girl I'd never heard of. She's a Brisbane singer called Peppermint Ollie. Oh, I can say peppermint without it popping my P's. And there's a great song she did called Difficult, which I've now had in my head for about 3 weeks. So that's really good. The second week was my suggestion. We all had to say something nice about each other.
Oh.
It was all really nice.
Sound
Everyone
like
had
you.
Sticking to brand.
I know. Yeah, sticking on brand. I sent out one name and randomized it, so everyone had to say something nice about somebody, which was lovely.
Well, it's strange that they all had to say something nice about you in the end. Which...
Do you know, I did consider doing it, but then I'm like, by the second person, they're all going to figure out what happened, and then no one's going to do it anymore. But the person who had to say something nice about me, Rachel, she wrote me a lovely acrostic poem, although it did say likes most of my jokes, not all of my jokes. So that's fine. And then this week we've done origami.
Oh, that's fun.
So I haven't actually made it yet, but I found what I'm going to do. It's a little polo shirt.
Oh,
Fun.
Yeah, fancy. So it's been really enjoyable. And then we've been so we do that. We'll have a chat about our, everyone goes through their week. Everyone has a chat, and then we'll usually play a game. Have we been playing Among Us? I don't know if you two have played it.
no.
But it's a game where either one or two people has to sabotage a spaceship.
Oh.
Very popular game. Millions of people around the world are playing it at the moment. I can guarantee people listening to this going, yeah, no Among Us. Like, why is he explaining it to these two? And because these two are Luddites.
Because
We'll
we're nerds,
get
we
on
don't
it.
have any friends.
No
If you want to
friends.
play Among Us with us, please send us an email at goodforachangepodcast@gmail.com.
Excellent. And we come out of the instrumental, everyone opens their eyes, back in the room.
Beautiful sleep story.
Everyone's having a nice, maybe grab a glass of water. But before you grab a glass of water, make sure you go to the App Store and, not the App Store, the iTunes, whatever it is, the podcast app. I don't know, whatever you're
It's
listening to
very
this on.
confusing now.
Yeah, it is. And please give us some stars. But I just for the life of me cannot remember how many stars they have to give us.
It's
If only
5,
there
sorry.
was
It's 5.
Sorry, it's 5. And how do you know that?
Because of the policy document. One sec, I'll
The
just
policy
double check
document.
on the policy document.
Please do.
This is Foley.
Yep.
Yeah, 5. It says 5.
Okay, 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
So please leave us 5 stars only. No less. We know it's not our fault. We didn't write the policy.
Sorry, guys.
5 stars.
Another podcast I'd give 5 stars at the moment is Radio Notes by John Murch. Bit of a side plug here. Hollie and I got interviewed by John back in March at the Adelaide Fringe, and he very kindly gave us a shout out for Good for a Change on his show. We discussed a lot of theatrical things, but if you're looking for something to listen to for an hour and a half, I highly recommend jumping over there and having listened to what we had to say about.
It's a bit more serious than this.
It's a little bit more serious than this, although we do talk about music, which is primarily what the podcast is about over there. So you get to
This
find
is
out
a very serious
all our-
podcast. Thank you.
It's full of facts. Very,
music
very
taste.
heavily researched facts. Good for a change.
Exactly right.
Good
I had
facts to
such a
change.
serious story about a rat who got a medal.
Yeah, I mean, very serious job, Holly. You got to take this a lot more serious.
I
Oh,
do take it seriously.
Okay. just
I've got a
checking.
notebook.
I'm not sure you
and
are.
I use a light blue pen in it.
Ooh, that's serious.
If you would like to keep up to date with all our very serious news topics that are definitely here just to make you smile, please subscribe to us. Tell a friend. We'd love to grow the podcast and let more people know that we're out here doing what we're doing. We think so many people need a little extra smile at the moment. So hit subscribe. If we get 1 million subscribers, Jared's going to get a Wombles tattoo on his face.
Let's
oh,
not say that.
Sorry, it was somewhere on his
It's-
body.
No,
Not
no,
a
it won't
face,
be getting
I
the
don't know.
face.
I'm pretty sure he said, I want the word Orinoco across my eyebrows.
Anyway, so do subscribe. Join us on Instagram to see all the visual elements. That's at Good for a Change podcast. Share news with us on our Facebook group page. Search Good for a Change. Find the banana. That's us. And you can always drop us an email at goodforachangepodcast@gmail.com.
Just with anything.
Yeah,
I'm always looking at my emails, so it'd be nice to have some
not spam.
correspondence in there.
Yeah, a little
Send
bit
me an
nice
email.
rather than getting emails from Nigerian princes.
And just specials from McDonald's.
Although, hey, if a Nigerian prince wants to send us $45 million,
I would pay for the tattoo.
and it would be good in my life. Tell you what, I'll say now. If a Nigerian prince wants to send us $45 million, legitimately, I will get the Orinoco tattoo well before the before the million subscribers.
Yeah.
Wow, two separate goals now.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. But until that happens, thank you very much, Holly.
Thank you, Jarrod.
Thank you very much, Sean.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Jarrod. You're welcome.
Until next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I'm gonna go sit in the sun.